Hey there guys, and welcome back to another computer application tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be taking a look at question 5, but question 5.1 more specifically, the table passengers. So because it's such a big question, I'm going to break it up into smaller videos. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so having a look at the first question, it says we need to open up the table passengers table in design view and do the following. So let us go and open it up first. Here is the 5 flights, that's the database we need to be working in. And they want us to open up the table passengers in the design view. If I double click on here, it will open up in the table view. If I right click, I can go straight into design view, and there we go. Alright, so the first one says apply a database feature on the passenger ID field to ensure that duplicate records cannot be entered. Alright, so 5.1.1 is referring to a primary key. So all we need to do is go to the passenger ID, select it, and then click on the key. 5.1.2 ensure that the passenger name field will never be left empty. Alright, so what they're saying now is that this field here for the name, they don't want us to leave it empty. So what we got to do is go all the way to where it says required. Currently it says no, and we need to say yes, it is required. It's a field that has to be filled in. Right, just by changing it to yes, we'll make sure that we cannot leave it empty when we are filling in the data. Then over here it says change the format of the passenger surname field to appear in capital letters. So they want us to change the format. They didn't say anything about an input mask. They want us to change the format. So what we're going to do is go into the database. Remember to select the correct field now. And here under format, we know what symbol we need to use when we want to make capital letters when we're using the input mask. It's exactly the same thing, so it's shift and then the greater than symbol. There we go. And that there will make sure that whatever we type into that particular field will automatically be in capitals. Okay, so that was 5.1.3. Now we're looking at 5.1.4, and it says create an input mask for the flight number field for users to enter data in the following format. So this is the input mask. It does mention input mask here in the question, and it's got 4 bullets that we need to look at. And I've showed you how to do this in class, where you're going to write the specific code next to the specific bullet here. So for the first 3 compulsory capital letters, we're going to need a greater than and then 3 capital L's. Then followed by the at symbol, so that's going to be the backward slash and then the at. And then 2 required digits, that's going to be 0, 0. And then it says 1 compulsory letter or digit. So compulsory letter or digit is going to be our capital A. So let us go make sure. So inside our code, or at least our question paper, we've got a input mask sheet here. You will see the zeros for our digits, the L for our compulsory letters A to Z, and here we've got a capital A, a small letter a. Both of them are going to give us letters or digits, but the capital one is going to make sure that it is required. It means it's compulsory. Alright, so let us go back to our question and start off. Okay, so 3 compulsory capital letters. Let's go do that one first. And the field we're working in is the flight number field. Flight number field. Input mask. They want 3 capital letters. Then they want it followed by an @ sign. So we're going to use the reverse, the backward slash @ symbol. So what that symbol does, the backward slash, is whatever comes after it gets actually placed into the actual field. Alright, so we've done that. Then it says 2 required digits, so we need to put a 00, 0. And then the last is 1 compulsory letter or digit. So this is where we're going to put 1 capital A. And there we go. Alright, now it says due to special circumstances, airlines have decided that flights can only be booked until the 30th of April 2022. So ensure that the departure date field will assist the user to only enter data from the current date until the last allowed booking date. So the last allowed booking date we know is the 30th of April 2022, and the current date is going to be today's date. If you're watching this video any other day besides what I'm doing now, just know that that date will change. Okay, so we're going to use the current date, and we're going to look between these two dates. We're going to tell the field we want to accept any date between these two fields, including the 2 dates that we're going to be putting in there. Alright, so here we're going to go to the departure date. The part of the properties we're going to be working with is the validation rule and the validation text. Over here, the rule we know starts with between, because that's pretty easy to use. But let's say we don't know in Access whether we should be using a function that says today or the function that says date. So I'm going to put a space there, go to functions, built-in functions. I know the function I'm looking for is a date or time. And then when I look through here, I'm going to see if I can find the one that says today, but there isn't any. As you can see, this is in alphabetical order, and there isn't. But I did see one at the top that said date. Now, what does this date here do? If I click on it, it tells us returns a variant of type date containing the current system date. So this is exactly what we want. I might have double-clicked somewhere. Let's just get rid of that. Alright, so between date, and then I'm going to type in and then I'm going to put in the year that the date that they said is the last date, and they said the 30th of April 2022. Now what we need to do, because it's a date, we're going to use the hashtag, and I'll let you know now why. We're going to put in the year, so it's 2022. Now when I put in a forward slash, that's what's going to separate the year, the month, and the day, but it's also the divide sign. So if we don't have that hashtag in the front and at the end of the date, it's going to think it needs to divide 2022 by the third, by 3, and then by the 30. And so the hashtag lets the Access know that we're actually dealing with the date here. Alright, so it's the 2022, they said April. April is 4, so 04 forward slash, and then they said 30, and don't forget to end it with the hash again. So we're looking for anything between today's date and the closing date. When I click on OK, it adds that code in for me. All I need to do here is write from today to, and then it was the 30th of April 2022. You can really just copy the question if you were to go to the question and see there it says only um, here it is, the date from the current date until the last allowed booking date, which is then the 30th of April 2022. They've split it up so you don't actually copy it exactly, but there you've got your text as well. So that there will give you the rule. That's what the computer is using now to check that the date is correct. And this here, in case the person using the program types in the incorrect date that falls outside those particular criteria, it will give us this message that they need to make sure to enter a date from today to the 30th of April 2022. Okay. We are now going to look at the ensure that the arrival date field has an appropriate data type. So let's go and have a look at what the arrival date field looks like. If we have a look here, arrival date, it says date and time when the passenger will arrive. I think this might have changed in your test. I think it might have been short text, and I might have already changed this. Alright, but it is date and time. Alright guys, so that was the last question that we're going to cover in this tutorial. We are going to carry on in the next tutorial then with 5.2, where we'll be looking at this particular form. Alright, but until then, I will see you at the next one. Keep working hard. Till then, bye bye.